My name is Eleanor Watkins, and I'm 80 years old. I'm saying that plainly because at this age, you stop dressing things up. You say your name, you say your age, and you understand that both of those things now come with an ending attached. I've been awake very early most mornings, not because I have somewhere to be, but because sleep doesn't hold me the way it used to. When the apartment is still dark and quiet, there's a feeling that settles in my chest. It's not panic. It's not exactly sadness either. It's more like recognition. I finally understand something about myself that I didn't have the language for when it would have mattered. I understand why I was afraid to want more. I live alone now, a small place, nothing special. The furniture is old but clean. I keep things where I can reach them. I've learned not to buy anything too heavy. The window faces a parking lot and a strip of grass that never seems to grow properly. In the afternoons, I watch people come and go, young couples arguing quietly, parents trying to manage tired children, people who still believe they are on their way to something. I don't feel bitter watching them. I feel tender, like someone who knows the ending of a story, but doesn't interrupt the telling. When you're young, you think old age will give you answers. You imagine wisdom arriving like a reward, as if you endure enough years and eventually things line up and make sense. What really happens is slower and heavier. You notice patterns. You notice what repeated itself. You notice what you avoided. And eventually, if you're honest, you notice what you were afraid of. I wasn't afraid of working hard. I did that my whole life. I wasn't afraid of responsibility. I carried plenty of it. I wasn't even afraid of disappointment. Not really. I disappointed myself quietly for decades. What I was afraid of was wanting something that didn't come with approval attached. I grew up learning that wanting was suspicious. My parents weren't cruel people. They were tired people, practical people, people who had lived through shortages and learned to survive by keeping expectations small. My mother used to say, "Don't reach too far. You'll only fall." She said it gently, like advice, but it lodged itself deep. If I talked about dreams, she would smile the way you smile at a child pretending to be something impossible. If I talked about being restless, she would remind me of all the women who would be grateful for my life. Gratitude was not optional in our house. It was enforced. So I learned early how to be reasonable, how to adjust my desires downward, how to tell myself that what I wanted didn't matter as much as what was sensible. By the time I was in my 20s, I thought I had it figured out. I didn't think of myself as afraid. I thought of myself as realistic. I married Harold when I was 23. He asked. It seemed like the right time. He was kind, steady, predictable. My parents approved. My friends nodded knowingly. Love wasn't something we talked about much. Compatibility was the word people used. Stability, future. There was nothing wrong with Harold. That's important. He wasn't cruel. He didn't mistreat me. He went to work, paid bills, came home, and I told myself that was enough. We bought a small house. I learned how to cook meals that stretched. I learned how to smile politely at neighbors. I learned how to keep things running smoothly. I also learned how to silence parts of myself without noticing I was doing it. I worked as a secretary. I was good at it. I remembered details. I anticipated needs. People relied on me, and I built my sense of worth around that. Being useful felt safer than being honest. There were moments scattered and brief when something inside me stirred. Sometimes it was a class I saw advertised. Sometimes it was a conversation I overheard between people who seemed alive in a way I wasn't. Sometimes it was just a feeling of emptiness that arrived without explanation. I told myself everyone felt that way. I told myself it would pass. I told myself not to be dramatic. I had children, 2 of them. They filled the house with noise and need. I threw myself into motherhood the way I threw myself into everything else, completely, carefully, and without much examination. I loved them, I still do, but love doesn't automatically mean presence. I was often distracted, thinking about schedules, meals, chores, what came next. I believed I was doing my best. I didn't realize how often my mind was somewhere else. There were conversations I planned to have later, moments I assumed would repeat. I thought time was generous. Harold and I settled into routines. We talked about logistics, about money, about repairs. We didn't fight much. We also didn't share much. Sometimes I wondered if this was just how marriages worked. Quiet companionship, separate inner lives. I wondered briefly if I wanted more closeness. Then I dismissed the thought. Wanting more still felt dangerous. Years passed without announcement. The children grew, the house aged. My body changed in small ways I didn't notice until they added up. I kept waiting for a moment when I would feel allowed to want something for myself. Retirement, maybe, once the kids were grown, once things slowed down. I didn't notice how often I said, once. The cost of that way of living isn't sudden. It doesn't arrive like a disaster. It accumulates, quietly, patiently. It shows up in missed school events you meant to attend, in phone calls you delay, in friendships that fade because you never quite made the time. It shows up in the way you stop being surprised by your own days. Harold got sick in his late 60s. It wasn't dramatic at first, just fatigue, appointments, tests, then more appointments. I took care of him. I was good at that. Caregiving fit neatly into my skill set. It gave me something to focus on that wasn't myself. I didn't resent him. I didn't feel trapped. I felt needed. He died on a Tuesday morning, quietly. The machine stopped making noise, and suddenly the room felt enormous. People told me I was strong. They told me I had been devoted. They told me I would be okay. I nodded. I thanked them. What I didn't say was that I felt strangely hollow. Not just from loss, but from realization. With Harold gone, there was no one left for me to organize my life around, no one to take care of, no one whose needs came before my own by default. That's when the questions started getting louder. Who was I, really, when no one needed me to be anything? I tried to stay busy, volunteered, took walks, filled my days, but silence has a way of catching up with you. The real turning point came when my sister died. She was younger than me, healthier. It wasn't expected. We had always talked about spending more time together later, about trips we would take, conversations we would finally have when life calmed down. Standing in her empty house, I felt something crack open inside me. All those laters disappeared in an instant. That's when I finally saw it clearly. I hadn't been afraid of failing. I hadn't been afraid of trying. I had been afraid of wanting something that didn't fit the life I had chosen. I had been afraid that if I admitted I wanted more, I would have to face the possibility that I had settled too soon, that I had lived too small. It felt safer to never ask. There are things you can't undo once you see them. You can't go back and add depth where you skim the surface. You can't re-inhabit moments you rushed through. I can't sit across from my husband and ask him who he really was. I can't go back to my children's younger years and be more present. I can't return to my younger self and tell her she was allowed to want. That understanding doesn't come with drama. It comes with heaviness. I still feel gratitude. I had stability. I had family. I had love in its own way. But gratitude doesn't erase loss. It lives alongside it. Sometimes people ask if I regret my life. That's not the right word. I regret my silence. I regret my hesitation. I regret how often I chose safety over honesty. I regret how long I believed wanting more was selfish. If you're listening to this and you're younger, I don't want to tell you what to do. I don't know your life. I only know what it feels like to reach the end and realize your greatest fear wasn't the world. It was yourself. It was the risk of admitting you wanted something deeper. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to chase anything dramatic. Just don't dismiss your own longing so quickly. Don't assume it's wrong just because it's inconvenient. I spend my afternoons quietly now, tea by the window, watching shadows move, remembering without trying to rewrite. I'm not afraid anymore. There's nothing left to protect myself from. This is the time I have left. It's smaller, slower. I don't need it to be better. I just need it to be real. If this stayed with you, you can sit with it. That's enough. That's all I wanted to say.